Let me tell you a story about Apollo 11. Something that's become something of a folk tale or conspiracy theory. That Michael Collins, Buzz Aldrin, and Neil Armstrong, all three of these astronauts, had seen something that maybe they shouldn't have seen, something they weren't expecting, something so earth-shattering that they weren't allowed to talk about it when they came back. When Apollo 11 landed on the moon, the spot that they chose was a crater, a large crater on this lunar surface. And when two of the astronauts were outside walking around, and when they exited the vehicles, they reported UFOs along the edge of this crater. This is the origin of the missing 1-minute audio in the Apollo files, that for approximately 1 minute, Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong switched their channel over from the public channel to a private one, where they told the NASA crew that they were being followed, clearly being monitored by whatever these things were on just the edge of the crater. As terrifying as this was, there was no explanation for it. And now, with the latest release, I believe this is wave 2 of these UFO disclosure releases, we now have pictures, detailed pictures of the lunar surface. Now, this one is of Apollo 17, where we see these objects flying around the lunar surface. 3 points of light that are sort of flying in a triangular formation, I guess. These are not the pictures from Apollo 11, but this is a similar phenomenon to that. And with this release, tucked in this release, I thought this was fascinating. We actually have details about Apollo 11. The Apollo 11 file is a technical crew debriefing in which astronauts Neil, Buzz, and Michael Collins discuss a few strange things that they saw and experienced during their historic mission. Aldrin, for example, states that he saw what I thought were little flashes inside the cabin, a phenomenon that he attributes to some sort of penetration, or perhaps static electricity. So here we have stories describing something almost paranormal or extra-dimensional. It's something made of light penetrating. He described it as a penetration of the exterior of the craft. Something got inside, something pushed into those boundaries. That's what he's describing here. It was probably terrifying, but it almost has a very almost supernatural touch to it. I mean, there is no shortage of these conspiracy theories and stories about how the lunar surface, especially the dark side, is inhabited. Maybe even possibly the inside of the moon itself being some type of alien base. And that the reason that, because if you believe some of the stories about what Neil and Michael and Buzz said about these, it felt like an aggressive maneuver when they were in the crater. When they were parked in the crater and actually landed on the surface, it was this aggressive monitoring, like letting them know that, hey, we're here. Mind your boundaries. They felt as if they were not welcome. And this is, and of course we have the documented history of this telling us that we never went back. We scrapped the space program essentially after so many trips to the moon and having all these interactions. Something is going on the moon. Now this is interesting because I think we have plans for a $20 billion space station on the moon. All of a sudden we're starting to go back, or wanting to, and create a permanent station, which many who have these stories about a secret space program say that we already have a permanent base up there. But it's almost as if it's this theatrical thing that's being planned. So if there is any credence to any of these old stories, these folk stories about going to the moon and encountering beings that did not want them there, I mean, what links would they go to prevent us from going back if we don't already have a permanent moon base? Would they sabotage our attempts to build one? Now check this out. This just happened last night. A Jeff Bezos Blue Origin rocket, which is a test rocket, which will be, they'll be the exact same models. These are the rockets that they're testing These will be the actual rockets that take human beings and supplies to go up to the lunar surface to build this $20 billion planned moon base now. Check this out. This just happened last night. So apparently this massive fireball just destroyed the entire launch pad. I mean, this is a complete reset. They're going to have to rebuild the pad, all the equipment. I mean, it's obviously just obliterated, but it's just insane how all of a sudden now we're saying that, no one was injured, but the efforts to lay the groundwork for building this base have been severely endangered. This may not, we may come to a dead end and it may be delayed, whatever. I mean, we've been talking about creating a moon base for decades, and it looks like it's getting put on the back burner again, but is something else sabotaging this? Or is it just simply a matter of, if we go there and we do build this thing in the next few years or in the next decade, I'm not sure how long they really plan. I don't know what the ETA is on being completed up there, but what if whatever doesn't want us up there is intervening? I mean, is that possible? My default position these days is that I do not know. People want to talk about flat Earth and egg-shaped Earth and what reality actually looks like, what the cosmology actually looks like. There are endless symbolic representations of it. I mean, some would call them literal from ancient times up until today, talking about the actual structure of the Earth. And it's almost as if, I think this is a huge, the fact that we latch on to all these theories and find them so interesting and so cathartic to think, maybe that's it, because I think it's a symptom of the fact that we are being lied to. Whatever the actual boundaries of the universe, the way they function and the shape of them and the way we travel in and out of, through space, in between space, interdimensional travel, all this stuff. There's all these things, and we are most definitely not being told the truth about it. So I think that's where all of these, it's just sort of a catharsis against the deceivers who are telling us, this is this established science, this doesn't exist, gravity only works one way, and we understand it. It's like a lot of the most advanced scientists will just straight out tell you that they don't understand how it functions and how it exists and how these forces of nature, what their origin is. Many people believe we live in some kind of prison planet. If this extraterrestrial thing it's not just going to be that we have these celestial neighbors that may or may not have been visiting us for centuries or millennia. It's going to be like the realization, some believe, I'm not saying I believe this, but that we are set with boundaries. We only have a certain section of the earth that we're allowed to be in and exist in. And when we leave that, we are being monitored and sent back. Much like what happened with Apollo 11. But yeah, these are just my thoughts. I thought this was very interesting how this whole rocket thing, I thought to myself, what, who would, if it was sabotaged, who would sabotage it? I mean, could it possibly be black ops, government? They're just trying to push the timeline back because think about it, the amount of time before, if we did set up a base up there, it's only a matter of time before we wander over to the dark side of the moon and whatever's going on over there. Be my guest, Google that sometime. my God, the stories that you hear about cities and something, some type of alien civilization already built into that thing. And we are in tidal lock with the moon, of course. We only see the light side. The dark side, which does get sunlight, is filled with just alien cities, visible technology, but we never get to see that side of the moon. But, honestly, I am just bewildered when this stuff happens, and I just fall in love with the possibilities, you know what I mean? I'm searching for the truth, and I may need your guys' help. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit. I got tons of stuff on the way, and I will talk to you all later.